be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "When the Advocate comes, whom I will send you from the Father, the Spirit of truth who proceeds from the Father, he will testify to me. And you also testify, because you have been with me from the beginning. I have told you this so that you may not fall away. They will expel you from the synagogues. In fact, the hour is coming when everyone who kills you will think he is offering worship to God. They will do this because they have not known either the Father or me. I have told you this so that when their hour comes, you may remember that I told you." The Gospel of the Lord. Extraordinary. The hour is coming when everyone who kills you will think he is offering worship to God. Little stories from yesterday's homily, if you don't mind. In 1970, I was stationed at St. Charles Borromeo Cathedral at the time, and Bishopmore High School and Morning Star School. And Morning Star School was for children who were very challenged. And one day, I remember it well, I was walking through the campus and my extinguished pipe was in my hands. And then all of a sudden I was conscious of somebody walking beside me, and it was Joey. I knew Joey, and Joey knew me. He was from Morning Star School, about 5 or 6. And he says to me, "Can I smoke your pipe, Father?" And I said, "Certainly, you can." It was extinguished, so I handed the pipe over to Joey. This was before coronavirus and political correctness. So anyway, he puffed on the pipe for a little while, and then he handed it back to me. And then the next thing he said to me was, "Can I touch your beard, Father?" So I leaned over like this before God and everybody, and Joy touched my beard, and then we walked along a little further, and he said to me, "Are you Jesus?" End of story. That happened just like that. So I'm asking you now the question, are you Jesus? How would you respond to it? Are you Jesus? Is Jesus in you? Just to help you with coming up with your answer. On the Day of Judgment, for instance, if somebody has fed you in terrible times when you were out of food and everything like that, God will say to that person, "I was hungry and you fed me." So are you Jesus? Anyway, rattled my cage, obviously. I'm still talking about it. And the other story comes from yesterday as well. I was doing my morning walk, and there was a dead black snake. You'll see it on the way out. It's on the edge of the flower beds on the way out on your left. And there was some ants feeding on its head at this stage. And of course, I asked my stupid little question at Mass yesterday, what was the name of the first ant? And of course, the answer is adamant. No, it's an English word, adamant. I'm definitely adamant. Okay. This morning I was looking at it, and there's a different colony of ants feeding on a different part of the snake, and they're a bigger type of ants. So I imagine there'll be a skeleton there in a while. And my mind immediately went to the First Lady, before she was ever born, God said to Satan, I will make you enemies of each other, you and the woman. Your offspring, Satan, and her offspring will be enemies, and you will lie in wait for his heel, and he will crush your head. And the last thing, there was a bit of a psalm running through my mind this morning. You shall not fear the terrors of the night, nor the plague. It's gone out of my mind. I had all this together. I didn't hear it out. You shall not fear the terror of the night, nor the pestilence that roams in the darkness, nor the devastating plague at noon, or the arrow that flies by night. I think it's Psalm 91, if you wanted to look that up. Not to be afraid of the pestilence that roams in the darkness.